want to talk? So let's talk. Yeah. Talk. You want to talk? You gotta talk, you need to talk. News talk.
I talk, you talk to Solomon. I talk, you talk to Solomon. Yeah, let's talk to Solomon. Talk to Solomon.
The show is Talk to Solomon. That's what we do. We talk to you, and hopefully you talk back to us. My name is Stan Solomon. I'm the host and my co-host,
Chief Steve.
former Police Chief Steve Davis. Joining us is our friend Major General Jerry Curry, U.S. Army retired. General, how are you?
I am super, and I'm glad to see Steve there in the background, keeping you straight.
Well, we always have Steve here because I've been threatened in the past, and since I'm smaller than Steve, I've just found a way to get behind him very quickly. That's really not true. In fact, Steve has to pull me back because I sometimes forget I'm an old fart, and some of these young people are stronger than I am. But I'm from the school that says, if you go down fighting. Unlike our country, which under this president and under this Secretary of State has decided our best position is to bow down and bend over.
Yeah, I'm afraid that that's where we are today. No question about it. And we really need to, the American people need to look down the road and say, where do we want to be 4 years from now? We sure don't want a repeat of what we've just been through.
I would hope that is the case, and a lot of the data gives us, at least a modicum of comfort. But let me ask you about what happened in Libya. We know that we had zero, let me repeat, zero protection for that ambassador. They hired 2 local Libyans to be the so-called security. And of course, at the first sign of trouble, they joined the trouble and pointed out where our people were. It's only by chance that 2 ex-SEALs who were there on other business happened to be there, and they jumped up, as SEALs always do, and made a hell of a fight out of it. And I'm sure it took out a number of the enemy before they all ended up being killed. But this policy is not unique to Benghazi in Libya. We have a policy that says our military people, our security people, in order that they not do something to offend, are not allowed to be armed. What the hell are they supposed to fight with? Spitballs?
Yeah, that's what they've been reduced to, fighting with spitballs. I've been down all these roads. I've been overseas. I have been under some very strange kinds of things that I can't really talk about. But that's the way it is today. Today, and in the old days, though, I know I'm jumping backward a little bit, but in the old days, our generals and our admirals stood up for our soldiers. And I've been waiting for somebody to stand up in uniform who's the boss, one of the bosses, with stars on his shoulders, and just say, look, number one, we are going to save the lives of our American soldiers and the ambassador, if that's our job, of course. We're going to do that. We're going to take care of them. And anybody who gets in the way and opens fire on them, we need to tell you, we're going to kill you. And it's just that simple. And then we do it.
Well, the fact is, Barack Hussein Obama, who in my opinion is a suppository looking for an impacted elephant someplace, has convinced himself and has told his administration there is no terrorist threat. We are loved. There's no reason to do anything egregious or aggressive, and therefore we don't even want to have the appearance of not trusting these people, and that's where we are. And that's put all of, not only our ambassadors and our embassy staff, it's put all Americans at risk.
Absolutely, but I'm just sort of suggesting to you, I recall when I was on active duty that we had something like this with General Clinton, with President Clinton, and all the 4 stars just sort of caved in and said, well, we can't do much. But there was one guy who was not. He was the Commandant of the Marine Corps, 4-star. His name was Krulak, and I recall him very well. He told the president, he said, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, maybe they will do what you want, but the United States Marine Corps is not going to do what you want as long as I am the commandant. And if you want me to resign, I will resign today and give up my commission and go into retirement. But I will not agree that that's the way you're going to handle my soldiers.
And what happened?
The president said, well, on second thought, we really don't want to do that. There's some other things we can attend to.
Chief?
Well, you know, the Democrats have also made the claim that the budget was cut. They didn't have enough money to hire actual security, and so Hillary hired some non-trained, whatever security company. But if all she had to do was say, there's trouble there, it's dangerous there, and I want a Marine detachment there, it would have cost no money to anybody. They're already getting paid to be Marines. They would have been glad to go there and protect our Americans at that Libyan embassy, and it would have made everyone safe and proud to protect our American people in Benghazi.
We had a full Marine contingent in Barbados. We had a full Marine contingent in Vienna. Now, I know they're riding all over the place in Vienna and Barbados. Why in the hell would we not have a full Marine contingent in the land of lunatics, Libya?
Because the Obama administration, the Democrats, hate the military. They don't want to use them. They don't like them. They don't want to put them to work. They can't stand them. They like the Muslims much better.
Yeah, well, that's because he is a Muslim. In my humble opinion, no insult intended for Allah, Muhammad, or camel jockeys or whoever might be offended. Now, Laura Ingraham, who I happen to like a lot, said our media is absolutely, inexcusably culpable for not asking any questions, not doing any investigation, and letting this president just do whatever he wants and just saying, you know, how was your day, Mr. President? And we're going to see that tonight with Candy, by the way, rotten Candy, Crawley, who's going to, it's going to be 2-1. It's going to be the president, who's a moron, and Candy Crawley, who's a walrus, against Romney. Did I just insult walruses?
Yes, you did.
I'm sorry.
Maybe Candy, too. I'm not sure.
Maybe Candy, too. General, get serious.
Listen, you're right. You're right on target. I'm sorry, but I'm on board with you completely. Both of you, I think, are absolutely right. I don't see what the big problem is. The answer is, if you need security, you get security. It's not that big a deal. I can tell you from personal experience, it's not that big a deal. And you just simply go about it and you do it. You say, that's what I want, and I want you guys there in 3 hours or whatever it may be, and that's where they will be. And they love to be on a mission somewhere doing something for their country. That's what they get paid to do. That's what they're trained to do. And so, I would like to see you talk newsmen, I'd like to see one of the newsmen look at our president, or I would like to see Mitt look at the president tonight and say, Mr. President, what did you mean when you told Medvedev that after the election you would have more flexibility?
I'd love it. And he's probably going to say, I'm going to be exercising, and I'll be able to bring my leg all the way up and put it behind my head. And at any rate, I'm just answering for him. We are now hearing that the White House, in their war room, I mean the one they have for the country, not the one they have for the re-election, are considering a retaliatory strike against Libya. Exactly who are they going to strike? Where are they going to strike them? And what are they going to accomplish when all this time they're saying there is no problem to begin with? Or is this to make us look like Putin, who's psychotic, and every other day he's there with his shirt off doing some other super feat? Is Obama going to say, I really am not a wussy panty waist. I'm a dude, man. And I'm going to bomb an aspirin factory just like Clinton did to show you that I mean business.
Listen, war is a very vicious, a very mean-spirited kind of an occupation to be in. And anytime you're involved in a war, bad things happen. And they happen quite often to good people as well as bad people. I don't know what in the world these people are thinking of, but if there's one thing I wouldn't be doing is putting troops on the ground or launching some kind of a military operation into Syria or Iran. You just don't want to go down those roads. Once you get in them, you're stuck. You can't get out of them. And my feeling is stay out of them, stay out of them, stay out of them. But if you have to go to war, the answer is you do it as quickly and as fast and as violently possible. And I know that may sound like I'm a warmonger. Well, I'm really not. I tell you, I'm for peace. But if you have to get into it, you win it, and you win it now.
I love it. Chief, I want you to go ahead and contribute while I'm thinking of exactly my thoughts for launching a war against Muslims.
Well, the first thing, I would say whatever jail is holding the American that supposedly created this Innocence of Muslims films, I'd be very worried, because if Obama's going to launch a strike to take out whoever's responsible for this act of terrorism, that's probably where he's going to start, because that's where he laid the blame in the first place. But another thing is that the American people are hesitant to change commanders-in-chief if there's a war going on. So if Obama can somehow trigger a war in the next 19 days, he may think that's to his advantage and get that done.
Well, let's ask you that, General. Do you think that if this administration would institute a, first of all, his own base would go crazy, they wouldn't vote for him if he started a war, so he's got that catch-22. But do you think if someone attacks America, allegedly, we have a Reichstag fire, do you think that if some sort of violence starts, that we will see this president benefiting from being the quote-unquote commander-in-chief?
I think this is my opinion now, and my opinion is only one man's opinion, but I think this commander-in-chief is somebody who will not stop at anything. There's nothing that he won't do to get himself reelected, and whatever it takes, that'll be it. And if it happens that a few Americans get killed along the way, I know that sounds ruthless and awful and bad. I apologize for all of that. I don't think it matters to him one way or the other. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it does matter to him, but I just do not get that feeling that it really matters that much. And it obviously didn't matter too much to the State Department. They sat and watched in real time with what was going on in our embassy over there and did absolutely nothing.
Oh, yes, they did. They came up with a cockamamie story and said, you know, what we just saw, we didn't really see that. Don't anyone say that we saw it in real time, and we'll wait till someone lets us know something happened. Oh, well. The Taliban. Now, see, when I said a war against Muslims, of course, I don't mean practitioners of a faith. I mean those that are practitioners of a political system and who believe that they have the right, the authority to kill those, torture those, enslave those who don't agree with them. Those people, they hide behind a religion, but they don't hide. There's nothing sacrosanct about them. Let's talk about that girl in Pakistan that was shot, a 14-year-old, and the Taliban said they should have killed her. They just missed. Chief?
Well, the first thing, this dramatizes the real war on women, which is, you mentioned the Taliban and the Islamic extremists who do not want women engaged in any type of activity at all other than being sex objects. That's all that they look at them as.
And cooks.
Yes, and so for this girl to actually speak out, I'm not sure where she got that kind of gumption, but she sure got more guts than our own president to speak out against the Taliban, and she got shot for it, which is a shame. I hope she recovers from her wounds quickly.
Well, they brought her here they brought her to England to try and save her, and they have, but they've already caught two trying to get into her room who I assume were going to go and kill her. And the Taliban said they have a right to kill her because she has affronted Muhammad and Allah. Now, let me just give you my prescription, General, and then we'll see if you could make the logistical arrangements. I believe we should go into the Taliban areas of Afghanistan and kill everybody and beg for their forgiveness after they're dead. And then let anyone else in the world know this is to be our policy from this day forward. You attack us, you kill innocents, and we will kill everybody and let God sort it out. I promise you there'll only be one more, and it'll last maybe an hour. General?
You're probably right. One more. I wouldn't even touch that one. I wouldn't go down that road under any condition. The idea of killing everybody, I got to tell you, is not something that rests easy on my mind. But I would also give you another part of this thing, and that is if the President and the Secretary of State were really concerned about spreading democracy, freedom, justice in the Muslim areas, in the Taliban areas, they would have sent their own private airplane over there and picked this gal up and brought her back here to Walter Reed or wherever they want to take her, and given her the very best of every kind of care and give her complete protection and identification change if necessary, and looked out for that young lady. This girl is a hero of the scope of having George Washington. I mean, she is at that level that this young girl at 14 years of age could take on and face down the Taliban, the Muslim religion, face down all of these people who are out there trying their best to kill her and to destroy their countries, and to really have as the chief was saying, really have a war on women. This is a war on women. And this young lady did it all on her own. That is, I think we have some senior people in the government, in the United States government, who can't figure out what to do, how to do it, and they're not sure whether it'll be accepted. This girl brushed all that stuff aside, and she said, what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong, and this is wrong, and I'm standing for it. And they shot her, and somebody needs to take care of her. It's just not enough to have her in a hospital. It ought to be the best hospital we got.
Listen to this quote from the Taliban. By the way, Taliban is Muslimese for rotten, low-life, stinking, disgusting, filthy bastards that need to be killed. Didn't know it meant all that, but I just told you. Quote, we targeted her because she would speak against the Taliban while sitting with shameless strangers and idealized the biggest enemy of Islam, Barack Obama. Man, are they confused. Man, are they confused.
Yes, they are, because let's remember that Barack Obama and his vice president, Joe Biden, said that Osama bin Laden is dead and so is terrorism. And after that, our embassy is attacked, our Americans are killed, and this girl is shot on a school bus by the Taliban.
And that's only a few.
Yeah, well, they're no longer enemies.
That's right. They're still terrorists, but they're no longer enemies.
Well,
they're friendly terrorists.
But don't forget that Barack Obama doesn't think they are terrorists. He thinks they're freedom fighters. So that's why he doesn't use the word terrorism when referring to Taliban and other Islam extremist fighters over in the Middle East.
I have to ask this question. General, you live in what state?
Virginia.
Virginia. Virginia is one of the quote-unquote battleground states. Now, it's my understanding that Virginia's already tilted toward Romney enough that they're not even worried about it anymore. The same with Florida, the same with North Carolina, the same now with Colorado, the same with Nevada. In fact, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Michigan are all in play within a couple, 3, 4 points. And that's with polls that favor Democrats, that use +7, +8, +9, +10, +11 Democrats to show Obama even with his 1 or 2 point lead. How can any intelligent life form, any American, not see the disaster that Barack Obama has been both in the foreign environment and in the domestic environment? How can anyone, I don't care what color they are, I don't care what education, I don't care what gender, I don't care what sexual orientation, I don't care what. How can anyone not see that Barack Obama is the absolute dog excrement in the punch bowl?
Well, I'm going to suggest something to you. And what I'm going to suggest to you is that the news media and the poll takers are wrong. I suggest to you that Mitt Romney will win Virginia by a landslide. I know everybody said, but I'm telling you, I drive through the state. I look at the houses that have the yards that have the signs saying Romney, Ryan on their signs. I talk to people, and I'm talking about at the grassroots level. And my conclusion after all of this is I have a warm and fuzzy feeling about this election coming up. I'm not talking about who's going to win what, all that. All I'm saying is my home state, state of Virginia, I have a very good feeling about this man and Obama not being reelected.
Well, from your mouth to God's ear, I live in the state of Ohio, the single, quote-unquote, closest state in the entire country. A difference of maybe 1 point, maybe not. They're saying it could go either way. Now, in the black neighborhoods, you see Obama Biden. In the white neighborhoods, in the upper class neighborhoods, you see Romney. In the middle class neighborhoods, you see both sides. I mean, I will tell you that. You see it. And I'm in Cincinnati, so I'm not traveling the entire state. But I know from personal experience, I interviewed a guy who in 2010, because the Obama for president office was a short distance from my house. And this guy said, a black young man, he said, I wasn't registered to vote, so I walked into the Obama for president office and said, hey, can I register to vote here? I'm not registered. And they said, where do you live? He said, oh, I just moved in down the street. They said, have you ever registered? He said, no. They said, come with us. They registered him in 74 different congressional districts. And he applied for absentee ballots in 74 congressional districts. They supplied him with addresses. And he voted on those absentee ballots 74 times. And then he went public. And then he went public. And you know what? The media covered it up. But he did it. That's what the left will do. There are no rules. There's no rights or wrongs. There's just winning. It's scary. That's what worries me.
Well, that's what should worry you. But I'm trying to suggest to you that as I see this thing, understanding the Democrats and that they will lie, cheat, and steal votes. No question about that. Understanding all that, I still believe in my heart that our man, Mitt Romney, is going to beat President Obama in the election.
I agree with you, totally. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Major General Jerry Curry in just a moment. This is Talk to Solomon. Do you have a cell phone? I do. In fact, everyone I know does. There's only one problem with cell phones. They're too damn high. You remember that guy. With me is Ted Williams, one of America's experts on cell phones, and a guy who's been responsible, along with his company, for hundreds of thousands of people saving money on cell phones. Ted, thank you for joining us. Talk to us.
Well, I tell you, Stan, right now, every dollar a person can save is a dollar earned. I'm telling you, in this economy, the price of gas and the unsure situation with employment, our business is tailor-made, and our cell phone packages are tailor-made to help everyone out.
All right, let's state a few facts. Unlimited service isn't unlimited service anymore, right or wrong?
It's right for a lot of the big carriers that you're familiar with, but our company has got truly unlimited talk, text, and web. We don't slow speeds down. We don't charge you after 1 or 2 gigabytes. It's truly unlimited, running on a nationwide network with roaming options if people want it.
And to get unlimited service, which many people use today in their business, you're going to spend $120, $130, $140. How do you compare?
We've got plans that start at $20 with rollover minutes, and our truly unlimited talk, text, and web plan is $59 a month. Again, no limits on the data, and the exciting thing is you can earn, as a customer, you can earn free service by simply referring a few customers to us. That earns you free service potentially for the rest of your life.
Now, let me make sure I'm hearing this correctly. Without paying money, without being in the business, simply if you're a customer, at whatever the customer costs are, and I assume there are no deposits or that type of thing, that if you refer a few friends and they get service, you can earn free service for yourself?
Absolutely. It's, as you said, no contract, no deposit, no credit check. And we have many payment options. They can be auto billed, auto debited, phone in and make your payment over the phone, or a lot of options on how to pay the bill. But truly unlimited talk, text, and web available to you for $59 a month, and if you refer a few friends, totally free.
Now, two other questions. You said roaming is an option. How much does it cost?
If you have unlimited nationwide roaming, it would be an additional $20 if you
So
if
you're,
you need
you're
it.
still
But-
only $79.
correct. But you may not need it because we are on the nationwide network.
Okay. And the second thing is, do you only have dial-up phones that you have to carry in a suitcase, or do you actually have the latest and greatest Droid phones?
We have Android phones are the hottest selling items right now on our site, but we also cater to those people that all they have a need for is a simple flip phone. So you can go from the top of the line phone to a free phone.
And are you competitive on those prices?
Absolutely. The phones, most people don't realize this, but the phone prices you hear on television are tied into contracts. We don't have a contract. So our phone, you buy it, you own it, and you pay the real price. The way you can find out how competitive it is simply ask any of those big 3 or 4 companies, what is the price of the phone if I don't have to sign a contract? And they'll tell you many of those Android phones are $400.
There you go. All right, folks, you can get more information by dialing 1-800-299-8362, or just go to cpnlive.com and click on the icon that says Get Free Phone Service. Free. Free. I can afford free. Can you?
Free is good.
Thanks.